the budget estimates and revenue and expenditure of the Republic of the Gambia for the fiscal year 2014 to the National Assembly. The environmental and social management and the resettlement policy frameworks, two documents drafted to ensure that potential negative environmental and social impacts of the results for education achievement development project are identified prior to the implementation of the project, recently went through thorough scrutiny at a synergy organized by the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. Funding for the project is provided by the World Bank. The Director General of the Presidential Alternative Treatment Program, Dr. Tamsin Bow, wishes to inform the general public that all those who registered for the infertility treatment are to meet at Kanilai Alternative Clinic in Bakau on Tuesday, December 3rd at 10 a.m. Those who registered for the HIV/AIDS treatment are also requested to report to the same clinic on Wednesday, 4th December at 10 a.m. The Global Anti-HIV/AIDS Coalition is seeking to ensure zero new HIV infections, zero AIDS-related deaths, and zero HIV-related stigma and discrimination. Campaigners, health workers, and other partners on Sunday gathered in Soma, Lower River Region under the edges of the National AIDS Secretariat, Action Aid, and other stakeholders to mark World AIDS Day. Officials in charge of education and training in ECOWAS member countries have started discussing means to further developing the sector in the sub-regional economic bloc, the five-day experts meeting that kicked off on Monday morning. And in other news, outside the Gambia, South African Vice President has announced a nationwide campaign to minimize the risk of HIV and AIDS infection in the country. The Vice President made the announcement Sunday while undergoing the AIDS test in observance of World AIDS Day. There were 400,000 new cases of HIV/AIDS last year alone in South Africa, with 12% of the population living with the virus. A New York City commuter train drilled Sunday morning, killing at least 4 people and leaving 60 others injured. China has successfully launched its first ever extraterrestrial landing craft that is capable of conducting geological surveys and search for national resources after it touches down on the moon in mid-December, and following a violent protest over the weekend to unseat the Prime Minister of Thailand, Yingluck Shinawatra rejected demands by opposition protesters to replace the elected government with the People's Council. It's almost 3 years since unrest broke out in Syria, and there was no break in the bloodshed this weekend. Opposition and government forces both report that Bashar al-Assad's troops killed dozens of people in Aleppo province on Sunday. The government said it was targeting terrorists, but the opposition forces say those killed were actually civilians. The United Nations estimates that more than 100,000 people have been killed in Syria since the conflict began. One suburb in the south of the city had become a key battleground in the war. That was all in this edition of the News in Summary. Thanks for your time, and that brings us to close down of transmission. Do have a peaceful morning.